All right, ladies and gents, welcome on into our 6 out of 10 Not Bad podcast. We are yet again sans our wonderful Sam. And unfortunately, you guys were actually almost super lucky. You guys were almost sans me this week. As I'm pretty ill and I'm pretty exhausted, so I'm going to need all the energy from you guys this week. Oh. Uh-oh. We might have a slight technical issue. Guys, give me 5 minutes. Give me just 5 minutes. I'll be right with you. Hey, guess what? I fixed it all by myself. No squid needed. Alright, guys. Alright, let's get to it. Thank you so much for joining us for the 6 out of 10 Not Bad podcast. Can you guys believe that this is the 5th episode? Again, we are without wonderful Sam, and you guys were almost lucky. You guys almost got off lucky and were sans me, because I am super ill. Just super ill at the moment. But luckily, or not luckily, I guess, in your case, I have managed to pull through. And with me, I've managed to also drag along two rather wonderful guests. This week we have the wonderful Death Metal Kyle and the equally lovely Pulp John Fiction, who you guys should now be able to say on screen. Guys, say hi.
Hello. Hi.
All right.
Hi.
Oh, you can't do that. That's copyrighted. That's naughty business. You can't
No, that's not. This one's fine.
I'm totally kidding. How you guys all doing today? You guys all good? It's so warm. I appreciate you guys, I appreciate you guys coming out, because it is just...
We're melting.
We are melting. All right, so tell me a bit about you guys. We'll start with you, Pulpy. Tell me a little bit about you and what it is that you do over on Twitch.
Yeah, so my name's Paul John Fiction. I've been streaming since February 2014. I started out with Minecraft. I now do simulators. I've been a gamer for 26 years. Video games are my passion. I'm just having some good fun on Twitch. It's the best place in the world.
Excellent news. All right, and what about you, DMK?
I am a full-time musician now, and I'm in a band called This One, I Had to Betray. And I love Twitch. I used to stream games, Rocksmith, and now I do all music stuff, and you guys know who I am.
Sweet. No, it's super interesting, because I've managed to kind of mix it up a little bit this week, that we have like super hardcore trucker gamer down in that corner, and then we have super talented music people underneath me, and then it's just me. Hello.
I bet.
You guys all know me. You guys don't need to get to know me. I'm useless at video games. This week was a super interesting week, and I'm glad I have you guys on board, because it's been E3 week. Did you guys enjoy, without jumping into it too deep, did you guys enjoy your E3 week?
Yes, I did. It's my favourite week of the year in the game industry, by far.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I had a good time.
Awesome. I'm super glad you guys have enjoyed E3 week, because we're going to start as far away from E3 as we possibly can. But I promise we will make our way back eventually. Should we just jump right in? All right.
Let's go for it.
Sweet. So, we start off today's podcast not talking about love, but in fact talking about something a little bit not like love. Take-Two have put a stop. They've ordered a cease and desist on Open4. So this is the community, the stuff that's been modding GTA now for almost a decade. These are the people who allow sort of, machinima artists to do what they do. And that's all having a stop put to it. Are you guys big GTA players at all?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So they're saying that this is all to do with they don't want people's online experience compromised. Is this the right move, do you think, for the sort of the home of GTA? Is this the right move for them to make?
For me, it's been their stance for a while. They've always said, don't touch the online. I remember back when GTA 5 first came out, and they were saying, when it first went to PC, like, if you alter the online experience, we will basically pull your pants down and you won't be doing it. So I kind of get why they've done it. It's a shame, like, they've basically gone and ruined this such potential in Open 5 and whatever and all these. But I'm not surprised. For me, I'm not surprised at all.
Not surprised either, at all. It's like, it's their thing. people are touching it. They're like, don't do it, and people did it. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame that they didn't kind of go, okay, so we'll target the and anything that involves online, we'll target that, but we understand that, you know, a lot of these content creators have built their name off the back of having sort of these machinima creations and being able to run these various mods, these various experiences through GTA. And this isn't a new thing. This is, again, they've been modding now for almost a decade. I do kind of feel like this is a little bit of a slap in the face of the people that make GTA as popular as it is.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the recent surge in roleplay on Twitch.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, how much of an impact that has had on not necessarily sales, but active users of Grand Theft Auto. And I think Grand Theft Auto is more popular now on Twitch than it was when it first released.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So in terms of the game being out there, it's the modded side of thing is massive.
Yeah, there's always like coverage of mods that have been come out in PC Gamer and all this kind of stuff, you know. So it's like, oh, we're not going to do that anymore. I'm like, okay, well, thanks.
It's just, it's such a shame that we've gone from it being, again, you were saying about on Twitch, right? This big thing of, well, somebody got partnered straight off the bat, didn't they? Because they've been doing. You must know this story better than I do, Pulpy.
Yeah, Sheriff Eli.
Yeah.
So I remember actually watching his first couple of times he appeared on some of the streams, and this guy is incredible. I mean, you do the D&D and stuff, and that's so you'll know about roleplay more than I will. But this guy is golden, and he got basically got took on under his wing by some of the bigger streamers, and his RP was so good that it could sell itself. So these guys are having it's the perfect acting for them to be able to put their broadcasts out, and some of the big streamers were having double their figures, 60, 70,000 for some of the bigger guys. And so Sheriff Eli, he got partnered before he even had one live stream. They did a fundraiser for him to get himself set up. Well and over $21,000 was raised. And his first stream, he sat there for talking for an hour, and he had like 1,000-man subtrain offline before he even went live. It's incredible.
Good Lord.
Yeah,
It's like the biggest success story on Twitch, I think.
Yeah.
It probably ever will be.
Yeah.
and
Good credit to the guy, because he's a normal guy. He's a sound guy, you know. He's just like a proper guy, a proper gamer, and he's not gone to his head. He just plays games, and he's got this thrust into the limelight. But that's all through modding of GTA.
Yeah, it's sad, but I do agree with you guys that this was probably going to be inevitable. You know, it was always going to happen, but it is very sad, and I think this marks kind of, if this is a permanent thing, this marks the end of an era, as it were.
Yeah. Absolutely.
For that kind of stuff. Do you guys see anything else kind of filling that gap at all? Is there anything now that GTA mods are going to be a thing of the past? Kind of, do you see anything else filling that role, especially on Twitch?
Well, for me,
the same with YouTube. I mean, all these machinimas that were being made, what they're going to have to adapt now.
Yeah.
So,
this one that's been shut down. There's another one called 5M, which is basically a separate launcher for GTA, which allows you to do the modded side of things, like not necessarily modded, but change a little bit of the way the game is so you can roleplay. Apparently, that's not going to be touched, which is good. It's good for the industry as us entertainers, and the modding side of things. You can probably go on that and go down that route, but just think of all that 10 years worth of input for some people to be like, you can't do your job no more. You can't do your passion. You know, and I hope it doesn't have an effect, like a knock-on effect for 5M and, you know, the potential, because there's obviously other avenues that they could have gone down with the GTA modding scene. There's probably loads of things out there that people still want to do. And it's kind of like a bit of a kick in the teeth for some people to say, you know what, I can't do anymore.
Yeah. No, it's sad, but I'm glad that given their reasoning was the online multiplayer being touched, I'm kind of glad that people have said, okay, well, you know, these experiences are a focus on the single player, or that it doesn't touch GTA Online, so we're kind of safe in that regard. And I hope they continue to be safe in that regard, because a lot of really good work goes on There are some amazing people, not only in the modding community, but as you say, in the RP community, in the content creation community. There's some amazing talent there, and it'll be super interesting to kind of see what they do kind of moving forward now.
For me, as bad as this seems, like the big picture is this community has been shut down, but hands up to Rockstar for wanting to keep their integrity of their game and Take-Two, to keep their online multiplayer, because I talked about this the other day. Like, for instance, some of the old Call of Duty games, if you was to buy those, they are still full value price. You can buy them full value, and the online experience is not an online experience anymore. The game is broken. You know, and they've not taken really into consideration like how their back catalogue looks. You know, and so like Rockstar and Take-Two taking a step to protect that. I think it's a good thing. It's just a shame that it's had such an impact on this community, really.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. I mean, I haven't touched it in forever, but we always used to struggle to even like get online, let alone play online. And, you know, so it's nice that, yeah, as you say, they are looking to kind of protect that, even though it does feel a little bit like a slap in the face of the community that they just love the game, I think. A lot of them just kind of love the game. Okay. So, leaving that for a second, I want to ask you guys a little bit more about the future. So we've looked at the future of GTA. I want to look at the future of a different company for a second. Are you guys Blizzard fans at all?
I've been known to Blizzard about every now and then.
Not me.
Not you?
Not really.
No?
I know what goes on, but it's not really ever been my draw.
All right, so Blizzard is currently moving a load of their staff around. And no one kind of seems to know why. They've taken some staff from their World of Warcraft PvP team, specifically their PvP designer. They've taken some people from, I can't think now, StarCraft 2. Yeah, from the StarCraft 2 teams. So, what are they working on? What are we hoping for? What are they working on? What do we
World
think?
of StarCraft 2.
Would that sell? I mean,
not at all.
I mean, it's a Blizzard game. It has to, right?
It could be like, I don't know, maybe it's Warcraft or StarCraft tie-ins to Overwatch or something. Could be something like that.
Because we've just
Could
seen...
be, probably
we've
not. But...
just seen Overwatch characters come to Heroes of the Storm. So, you know, we're starting to see that kind of...
Yeah.
But
It's starting to bleed into each other a little bit, aren't they? Because the characters, the characters have got some weight. You know, the Overwatch characters especially have got some weight where they can switch between games quite easily.
Oh, there's a super interesting point. Maybe they're making a Battle Royale game. Would you guys play a Blizzard Battle Royale game? I don't know how I feel about that.
It'd be interesting. Certainly, Battle Royale's really, really hot right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Like 70 different Battle Royale.
Yeah.
Things like, which is the latest one?
Which is the least broken
they're not all
one.
done well.
Yeah.
They're not all done well, you see. And like with if it is potentially something like that, the amount of interest would be huge for
and the amount of talent to get it right.
Yeah.
That Blizzard have. If there's, we look at HOTS very often. Heroes of the Storm is kind of the smallest MOBA child and one of the least successful MOBA childs, and we kind of see it. We see all these events now where, in order to unlock X character or X model in Overwatch or WoW or whatever, you have to go and play HOTS first.
Yeah.
But it's a really solid game. Like, it's actually a really solid game. There's nothing really wrong, per se, with it. So they've definitely got the talent there to make things that work. The question is kind of what comes next. I was wondering about the next Diablo game. And whether it was possible to bring in a more consistent multiplayer experience in the next Diablo game.
Have they announced anything about a new Diablo game? Well,
not as far as I'm aware, but it just seems odd that they're pulling in people from various teams and kind of going, it's for an unannounced project. And BlizzCon feels so far away.
So what's the turnaround on Diablo games then? I mean, Diablo 3 was the latest one, right?
Yeah.
Has there always been like a set amount of years between each one?
Not as far as I'm aware. It's always been.
Would you say like there's one
time.
due? You say there's one due on the horizon. Like, is it definitely a Diablo game due? It's time. Or...
I would think so. They've just they've just done oh, my brain's died. They've just done Necromancer for Diablo. So I guess I guess maybe. But again, like they've got a habit. Blizzard have this wonderful habit of going, here's some extra gameplay for your game. Here's some extra characters that change the way that the game plays. I mean, you've only got to look at how WoW expansions work. And how WoW patches work, down to individual patches that, you know, raids go live, loot changes, whatever. You know, it's kind of interesting to see how they bring longevity into their games. So while we're not explicitly due a new Diablo game, maybe it's something that they're, again, trying to get right. Because that takes time, right?
It does. New things take time. Old things take time too, to add new stuff to. It could be anything. My mind's racing. I'm just like, what could it be? It's like, it could be... it could be
to me, this shows how the game industry is developing, that a story like this has come from somebody moving positions inside Blizzard.
Yeah.
Like the stories and the rumours, you know.
Yeah.
That's exciting on its own.
And I think a company with the scope that Blizzard has for their sort of range of titles, that makes it that little bit more exciting, because my brain went, maybe they're going off the wall and making a card game. Oh, they've done that twice.
Maybe
they're
making a racing game.
Ooh! I would play Blizzard Crash Racing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah! Like
Diva. Mario Kart with Diva.
Yeah, Diva in a mech, and then next to her you've got
they could probably pull
Butcher
that
in a
off because
tiny car, giant or even
they could use the motorbikes from StarCraft.
Exactly. I mean, we've got you know all mounts in WoW, you know.
Let's petition Blizzard to do this.
Yes, I think that's a great plan, and I am honestly now fully behind Crash Blizzard Racing, and playing as Diablo in the smallest car and just like bulging right out of it, like screaming at everybody and throwing fire at everybody as I go past. Like I am ready for this. I feel like that is going to be my game.
That is the next step to Blizzard. You heard it here first.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Oh my goodness.
In our minds.
Yeah. No, I'm always excited when people move studios or when new studios are formed and things, but I think with the catalogue that Blizzard has and the level of polish that they put into everything, like, hopefully it'll be something special and not just more StarCraft 2.
Hopefully it'll be new StarCraft 2 stuff, because I haven't seen anything new for a long time. I like StarCraft 2 a lot.
I love how the two of us said that at almost exactly the same time, and I hope it's not... Wow. Although I'm not good at StarCraft, I panic. Like... it's not my kind of game. I would rather not panic massively every time anybody does anything in a game, but that's just me. Talking of panic, Ed McMillan just announced what their new game is going to be. Him and our friend Ty, and I'm gonna hope it doesn't go the same way as Mugenics. I'm gonna pray and hope that it doesn't go the same way as Mugenics. But this is The End Is Nigh. Did you guys see this?
Yeah, looks awesome. Yeah.
I'm so excited. I am just so excited. I cannot wait. Good, And it's the fact that the trailer is a streamer, like, with 0 viewers, fucking up his game. It's just amazing. It's got so much character already. Like it really does have so much character already. It's clearly based off of sort of the mechanical systems of Meat Boy, but it's scarier, it's faster, it's gorgeous looking, it's gorgeous sounding.
You can double jump.
Yes,
that's one thing I noticed. I noticed the soundtrack straight away. It suits the game.
They've just released a track over on YouTube. and if you search for The End Is Nigh, you get like a track by Ed that just the video just reads like ... and it's a bit of the game soundtrack, and it's fabulous. It's so good. This is going to be great, and I'm excited because I know, Pulpy, you've been playing Rude Bear.
I have.
So this is your kind of bag, isn't it?
Well, right. So I never played Meat Boy. Never played it. I obviously know what it is. Obviously, never played it. No, there's quite a few.
I got a spare key for it if you want.
I've got the game, mate. I've got.
Okay.
So I have a back catalogue of games that I've never touched. It's just what I do. Buy a game, never play it, and just the fact of owning it.
Welcome to everyone on Steam.
Yeah, so I know what Meat Boy is and stuff like. But for my first go at a game like this, was what's it called? The one where I can't remember the name. Mine's gone blank now, but it was on Xbox 360 for a while, and it come on Steam like last year, maybe.
You'd have to describe it to me.
Yeah, I was going to say, describe the game.
The levels, basically levels like random generated each time you go on them. I can't. Somebody will chat with it. No, but it is like a pixelated sort of style. It's Ratman thing now. I can't get it. Anyway, so that was my first type into it.
Right.
And so I played Super Rude Bear, and it got me straight away. Like, hooked me in. Like, I can't do this game. I can't do it, but I want to do it. You know, you have to grit your teeth and get on with it, and 1 foot forward and get on with the game. And it's like, I love that. I love the challenge that these sort of games bring to you.
Is this your kind of deal, Carl?
Well, not really, no. I played Super Meat Boy, and it was really fucking hard. It's like,
Yep.
So I uninstalled it and never went back.
Those quick restarts in Super Meat Boy are actually wonderful because you don't really have enough time to go.
It's true.
Because you just press the fucking jump thing.
Yeah.
I got about halfway through Super Meat Boy, and kind of did the whole thing of, hey, this game is awful. I hate it. This game is awful. And I sat back and I kind of realized that actually the game wasn't awful. I was just bad.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's like the game is really well thought out and everything, but I just suck so horrendously at this goddamn game.
It's so,
I'm not gonna play it anymore.
It's so beautifully designed. Everything is absolutely in place. Like it's absolutely wonderfully designed. Please don't anybody think that I'm serious. I also think that Bloodborne is rubbish for that exact reason, that I'm just bad. But just to have these precision platformers with the quick restarts, and if anybody knows how to do a successful precision platformer, it's going to be Ed at this point, I think. Because it was so beautifully designed, the first one, and I'm super glad to see that not only is the precision platformer back, but it looks gorgeous. And it's all dynamic and things, you know?
It does, yeah.
That's great. How do we feel as content creators about the trailer being about a streamer who gets sucked into his game? That's clever, right?
I like that, yeah. It kind of gives it a whole different dimension. It's like, not just like, here's a new game, it's like, here's the thing, yeah.
It made me smile because it reminded me of every time that I used to stream to 0 viewers, and I would panic over everything going wrong to no people. It's nice. It's super charming, and it's good to see. Like it's good to see that charm still going. You know.
So the kind of direction into some games now is the Twitch interaction. Do you think this would suit Twitch interaction?
No.
No.
Twitch integration.
I'm gonna be honest.
It's so precise. Like if anything, like I don't know, randomly popped up because of chat, I'd be like, oh well, thanks. You know, you wouldn't get anywhere. Like random wall. I was jumping to the place behind that wall. Thank you very much, chat. You bunch of bastards.
Or maybe like not necessarily it alters the game, but there's a second playthrough maybe with Twitch integration, a bit like Rude Bear offers.
Yeah, maybe.
That could work.
Like alongside it.
See, I have a bit of a problem in that. And I feel like this is a super controversial opinion. I don't like Twitch integration.
No?
I actually don't like it because I don't feel it's done well enough in a lot of the games that use it. I think there are some really good examples.
That one game, the Roman wrestling game, what the hell is it called?
Oh, Domina.
Yeah, that was. Yes. I thought that was done pretty well.
That was done pretty well.
Right.
What's that?
There was another one about dancing or something. And
there's a bit of controversy about that, Dominic, wasn't there? Like people could give you in-game items and then they could be taken away by the game. So somebody could spend quite a lot of bits to provide you with.
Oh, really?
Stuff.
Oh, really?
So somebody say that since it's got to give you 2,000 bits, it would probably put something in the game, which is quite valuable, and then there'd be an RNG in the game which would take away what you.
Really?
Yeah, but I think you have to
didn't
be
know that.
I think you have to be ready for that though in all
Yeah,
these
but-
things because it is a game. But
Yeah.
yeah.
And it does sort of advertise itself as you don't get saves or anything like that. You start each time over again. So it's like if anything gives you something, it's temporary.
Yeah, but I can understand the frustration that you pay that much money to give somebody something good, and then the game goes, ha.
Fuck you.
Yeah, unlucky.
Yeah. The other one that does it really well is Choice Chamber. And I actually really like a lot of the little touches in Choice Chamber, like the fact that when you say hello at the start of the game in chat, it pops up as hello, and it will give you like a little good luck message before you start. And I think stuff like that is really nice. But I always struggled with things like Party Hard because all my chat ever wanted to do was send bears at me.
Yeah.
And so I would be stuck on one level for an hour because there would be too many bears in my level. I kind of soured off it a little bit.
Just tell your bot to ban the word bear and you're fixed.
I mean, that comes at the risk then of angering my chat, and chat's not somebody that you want to anger, I feel.
No.
He wants to give you
That's
things.
true.
Let us do it.
The wrath of chat is not. Let's not talk about chat giving us things this week. Let's not talk about that. My PO box. I'm going to check on my PO box on Monday, and I fear for what I'll find inside it because
Just make sure you're securely sat down.
Yes, yeah, that one. I will definitely need to take a seat. Oh no. So yeah, I always feel like kind of maybe Twitch integration on a very serious game altering level is kind of taking it too far because Twitch chat are naughty, and on like an individual level that's okay, but when 30 of them decide to be naughty at the same time. That's not so great, but there are some good examples, as you guys say. So it's
Yeah.
How are you finding the Twitch integration with Rude Bear?
Right, so I knew it was a thing, so I'd obviously tried it a bit, and so I played like the first hour without Twitch integration, and it was fun. And so I turned Twitch integration on, and then the next 4 hours was I raged 4 hours hard at the game, and my blood pressure was through the roof. I've never come off a stream and been so angry in my life. So there were certain stages where I couldn't do the level, and it was getting worse by Twitch integration, making the level worse. Yeah. And you get an option, either like this or that. You basically type hashtag in a chat, and it's like, okay, you can help Puppy or you can screw Puppy over. Okay, you screwed me over again and again. And then something decent had happened, and it did help me. And I was like, yes, we get to the next part. And then it did the same thing over and over again. I was like, I hate you all. I actually hate you all. Like, really hate you. But it was really well done to the point where not everything, some of the levels were definitely needed a little bit of Twitch integration to get through. You could probably do it without it, but certain parts actually did help. And it did. I mean, I take things a pinch of salt. It was fun. It was one of the most fun streams I've had playing a game that random first time in the game. So it was really like, I love you guys, but please stop trying to hurt me. I've got feelings and you're making me really upset here. And it only made it worse.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't tell chat you have feelings.
No, that is a mistake. All right, talking about things that give us feelings. Talking about things that give us feelings. So as a musician, I'm kind of hoping that you've got a lot of input on this. We're looking at Steam now as a wider entertainment platform, rather than just a kind of games directory, right? And we're talking about now. I always get this person's name wrong. It's Neil Blomkamp. Blomkamp. Oh, I always get this wrong. Oh, goddamn! Somebody in chat teach me how to say it. But Raka has just hit Steam, which is a short film, an experimental short film that you guys can watch for free through Steam. And then if you want to buy some assets from it, So the soundtrack, there's some models and things like that you can get. I imagine that other people look at things like wallpapers and that kind of deal. So I don't know what the reaction to this is going to be. And knowing that we've got tools and things like you need a budget, we've always had stuff like that. We've always had game engines like Game Maker through there. How do we feel about games and music potentially being distributed through Steam on like an equal level to the games?
I'll let you go first.
I actually think it's a great idea because everyone has Steam, you know, and they started doing it with consoles, Xbox and PlayStation 4 and maybe even PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 and stuff. And I had a great time just watching Netflix on my Xbox and, you know, not buying, but streaming music and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's good to have everything in one place because everybody has Steam. So if everybody can just get everything they want through one place, especially since, you know, if you want to release something, there's an extra platform that everybody has, then it's like, we're on Steam, go and download my music there, you know? And it's, I think it's a step in a good direction instead of just being, you know, 7 different programs you have for, you know, it's all one. I think for me, I like it.
Because, I mean, we've had game soundtracks as downloadable extras for a long while now on Steam.
Oh, yeah.
We've had the odd film on there. Because I know Indie Game the Movie had a big release through Steam. There have been kind of some shows through it, but it would be interesting to see if something like this, where you can stream these for free, but pick up extra bits and pieces, kind of really kickstarts it as like an equal, perhaps not an equal platform, but as a new marketplace for that sort of thing. And I wonder what Steam will be able to provide creators with.
A huge market for one.
Right, but
that's the thing, yeah.
But how does that benefit you over something like? I don't know, something like Spotify, for example.
Well, the thing with Spotify, I have 2 EPs on Spotify right now, and I see barely anything from it. Spotify very greedy with their sort of take from the streams and everything.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not the greatest thing. So if I can put my EP out on Steam as well, they have a different model. So they take a certain percentage, and then I'll get most of the money back to me. So I mean, just speaking financially. And also, it's like I have, you know, a lot of good friends in gaming on Twitch and everything. So I can be like, you have Steam already. You know, here's an easy way for you to go get it. So it's a bit easier because Spotify sort of, people come and go from Spotify, and all my friends, they sort of, oh yeah, I've just got Spotify Premium again, you know, for the 6th time. So it's like, but Steam, it's like it's always there. There's no fee involved with Steam. It's only what you buy or what you pay for is there. So
Right.
to download it and own it is free. So.
It'd be interesting, I think, maybe to have, and Sketchy actually brings this up, but maybe I'm thinking a slightly different route to Sketchy, is to see multimedia creative projects on there. So if you have something, if you have an idea that you can express via different means, you've got the perfect platform to you know, sell it to people, to give it to people through each one of those means. There's not really a limit. All these physical extras that we get in the way of kind of wallpapers and things, you know, player models now, we can get that's all accessible through Steam. If you've got a game component or an interactive component, that's all absolutely sort of, you know, that's perfectly covered by Steam. If you've got music and film or short form, whatever, that would all be covered by Steam, and you could have that all under one title and one bracket, and Steam would be a great platform to kind of push that. So that's kind of neat. Poppy,
that's very good. Yeah.
Yeah. Would you go for that? Do you think? Would you go for Steam as an all-in-one platform?
Yeah, I mean, why not? Because everybody else seems to do it. Steam, but they do. They all don't they? Look, I mean, what did Netflix start as? Netflix started out as a place to put movies, and it became into like TV shows, and now they make their own multi-budget shows out of it because people are really interested. So, you know, to have the platform like Steam, which is huge. I mean, I don't even know the user base of Steam, but everybody has Steam, right? If you have a PC, you have Steam.
I was gonna say even Linux users have Steam, so that's everybody, right?
So it's just like the potential marketing for somebody to put out their movie or their songs, or even if you go further from that, their art. Digital art, maybe.
Yeah.
Like you can buy on it all these like Etsy stores and things. You put it for Steam, get it in one place where everyone has the thing, and once it starts to take off, then these other mediums become less popular, and it's all in one place. I can't see it being a bad thing for the industry.
Especially if they offer like
drive more people there.
Yeah, especially if they offer like a streaming thing for music as well, instead of just buy it.
Yeah,
that would be very interesting to see.
There's like quite a lot of musicians out there that make make music for games.
Yeah,
and they have to put their music on different places to buy them.
Yeah,
maybe that's choice or whatever. But if they could put it off through, so like, say, is it the guy who did the music for Meat Boy, right? I don't know his name. You'll know him. Danny Summit, is he called?
Danny B style.
Yeah. So maybe if in the future a game comes out and his music's with the game, you can buy the game and then you can link to the guy's back catalogue of the music that he made for other games because he's tied to that game. And it's like, I know you can buy certain soundtracks through Steam, but imagine it all being there for that one person, to have it all there.
So you could go to Danny B's profile and you could be like, okay, let's listen to the original Isaac soundtrack from here.
Yeah.
Let's listen to...
And you could buy it or you could listen to it, and then you wouldn't need to go to Spotify to play these things. And if you wanted to purchase it, you go there rather than going to other things where, obviously some people would prefer to go where they get more finance out of it, but I think it'd be a good idea. You can't go wrong, really, can they?
No. But the one problem that you would see would be sort of Steam becoming too big.
Yeah, it's a good point.
And
they need to develop but really dedicate some resources to it properly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what competition could you see then pushing that forward? Because either you can view it as they've got a lot of separate competition pushing them in all sorts of directions and that should help them refine, or you could look at the fact that maybe there's not another platform that does this, so there is no competition.
Not really.
There's
no like software platform. Like I said, there's Xboxes and PlayStations that have everything in one, but that's a whole different thing. That's a hardware platform. It's
rather than
completely different. So yeah. So like software, like you have Uplay and all this other bullshit. To be honest,
I went back to Origin the other day and sort of looked at my two friends on Origin and went, what?
How are you online? Who is still using this?
He's actually still logged into it.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't buy games through Origin. They blocked my. I can't buy games through Origin, so I wanted to buy Dead Space 3, and I was like, "Oh,
it's
you
broken."
Can't pay. Yeah, so this was a long time ago, and when Dead Space 3 came out, and they were like, "Nope, not going to happen." So I had to go out and buy the box. And then they were like, "Please log into Origin." I was like, "You fucking what?"
If it makes you feel any better, the only reason I have control over my Origin account right now is because I totally forgotten I had it, and I know I bought The Sims 4 on it, but I totally forgot I had it. And I had an email through to say that some Russian name had added me as a friend. I'm kind of like, So I went to log in, and I couldn't. So I'm like, this is weird, and I tried every password that sort of I have in my head, and I'm like, okay, this must be strange. So I rang up their customer support and was like, hi, I need help getting into my account, blah, blah. And I don't remember whether it was emails or phone, because this is a while ago now, but they basically went, oh, you changed your name about 6 weeks ago. And I'm like, oh, what did I change it to? And literally the guy looked at it and went, yeah, I don't know how you pronounce that. And I'm like,
Tiny pics on that.
Oh, okay. Well, and we managed to get it sort of back under my control, but like it just... I don't know why we bother with it.
My Origin account was stolen by a Russian too. It was like I got an email through saying your password has successfully been changed. I'm like, no, it hasn't. What? So I went straight to Origin, logged in, clicked the I've forgotten my password button, because I did it so quick they hadn't had time to change their email yet. So I got it through and got control back of it, and then I sent a ticket off to. It happened again, so I sent a ticket off to Origin, and they were like, the first response I got was your ticket has been closed as solved. I was like, what? No, it hasn't. I don't have control of my fucking account. So luckily I managed to get it back again, and I've changed it to some crazy password that I don't even have a chance in hell of remembering. So it's just like I just mash the keyboard. So Origin customer support are
No, see, I've only got good experiences with them, but again, it was because we both had such a laugh at it.
Yeah.
Like, we both had such a laugh at the fact that I'm like, okay, but what is the name that they've changed it to? And the guy's just like, I don't know how to say that. Like, I don't think half the characters are displaying right on on the screen. And I'm like, oh, okay, let's fix this and get two-step in, I think.
Yeah, that's probably what I have now. Two-step is what I have.
Yeah.
So it just can't happen.
Okay, so maybe an all-inclusive platform, good.
Yeah.
But only if they could, you know...
do it right and not make it buggy.
I'd say do it right.
not make it bad. Excellent, great, okay.
Yeah, not make it like, oh, like boot your foot through the door. Here we go. We're in Steam. Here's everything. You know, make sure it's integrated right.
Yeah.
There's
no rush on this. It just has to be done right.
Yeah, and I think that's the most important thing for a consumer experience like that is to, you know, to make sure that it's done gradually and not do a Twitter where they're like, oh, guess what, guys? Now everything is round.
Yes.
Because
I was looking at it too,
terrified
like,
me.
something is not right here.
Oh no. Okay, talking about new things, let's talk about a new game that's coming, because if you guys haven't heard of it, I want to push it your way. If chat haven't heard of it, I want to push it their way, because I'm there are no words for how hype I am about this. Have you guys heard about Dauntless?
I hadn't until you put it as a topic today. I had a good read about it.
I had heard the name. I hadn't read much about it until you put it up, and I was like, how do you mix Dark Souls and World of Warcraft?
It's not. Think more along the lines of Monster Hunter.
I suppose.
So you've still got that Dark Souls, everybody get out of the way, it's picked its tail up thing.
Yeah.
But you've also got the community aspect of, I'm going to play bagpipes all the way in the back. You guys go fight the scary thing. I'll see you in 20 minutes. Like,
I know which role I'm taking.
Like, I mained bagpipes on the 3DS for like a year, and people used to get really angry at me. It was wonderful.
Yeah. It doesn't sound like it's something that I would enjoy.
Is it
Just
not?
to be put, it's not really my thing.
Not a Monster Hunter fan, no.
No. Well,
No.
wait, it's a good game, well made, but it just wasn't my thing. So.
Poppy?
I was interested. I mean, you'll know a bit more about this game than me. Explain the price point of the game to me and the how much it plays and
right.
all
So,
that.
I don't remember. I will look. At the moment, they're doing buy-in alpha for extra content. That's where they're at the moment. Where they take the price point after that, I don't actually know. Let me have a look and see if I can see here somewhere. Nope, that's not helpful. That's not helpful. But you can sign up to try the alpha, and they're sending out waves of invites, but there is a buy-in for the alpha that gives you extra content, and it gives you access to the new weapons and things like that. Originally, I think they were selling it as a free-to-play experience, but I don't actually remember. It's absolutely cleared out of my brain whether it is continuing that way. Let me see
That's
if I can...
what it said in the article.
Yeah, that it was going free to play?
Yeah, I think so.
I was just confused about like they were charging for the founder pack, and then it was like a 90-day stuff, and I was like, I'm lost. It's involved in this game. It's weird.
The idea is they're looking for dedicated players who either know Monster Hunter or want to know Monster Hunter kind of combat to play the alpha and to get used to it and to give them sort of good solid feedback. And apparently the best way they figure of doing that is to put thousands of tiers out for founders packs, which is not the best way of going about it. But
yeah, it just seemed unusual to me. That's what I read about it. It was like, okay, this I like a step back to what he was trying to explain how to get involved, really.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. Why can't I find what I'm looking for? Anyway, yeah, no, at the moment they're doing it will be free to play. Yeah, there you go. So it'll be a free to play game when it releases. At the moment, we're looking at a fall launch for the sort of founders and alpha gameplay. And what they're constantly looking for, from when I spoke to them at PAX, was that they're constantly looking for people to give them feedback. And they want to make it so that by the time it launches free to play, communities are going to want to get behind it and go hunting together.
With like the buying of the alpha, it's quite expensive. I see why only people that would be interested.
Yeah. But
and
again,
valuable to them.
It's cutting out the people who will go, this is bad.
Yeah.
Or this is good.
Not only that, but the people that will say this is bad or this needs work on, they will actually have like a meaning behind it because they paid to have the thing and they want to actually help.
Yes.
So it's not just going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm looking for.
It'll be. It's it's the same as putting a named driver in your F1 car to do testing rather than just Joe Blogs off the street who's driven a Fiat all his life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they're looking for people who can say, balance was bad here, like this tell isn't strong enough, this weapon doesn't work how I would expect it to, this set is too difficult to craft, this setting is lovely but it's too busy, rather than I hate the ice one.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've all seen it. You go on Steam forums and things like that, and
game is broken.
Game is
broken.
Game is broken.
1 out of 10 would not buy again.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but you hate the ice one too. I'm really glad, Sam. I miss Sam's input. But yeah, no, like that's kind of what they're looking for. And I think it'll be interesting now that Monster Hunter is coming to PC, how this does alongside it. Now, the devs for this are super excited that Monster Hunter is coming to PC because something that they love is coming to PC. It'll just be interesting to see how it does alongside, like how a paid title with all the content from the start will do alongside a free-to-play title of this nature. And kind of how they'll get communities playing together.
With like the announcement of the Monster Hunter and obviously this coming out as well, it kind of arouses them sort of people that are interested in this game, and now there's 2 titles on the horizon.
So now we're super excited. We're like, hey, let's tell everybody about these games where you go out as a team and you all have different weapons and you all have different skill sets and you talk it out amongst each other. You walk along, you find where that monster is on the map, and it's huge and it's scary and it comes for your face. So, you've got people who are working out the attack patterns, you've got people who are stood at the back, supporting, you've got people who are like underneath it, jabbing it in the belly. Like, it's really interesting to see these people kind of come out of the woodwork and be like, actually, this is a game that we really like. This is a game style that we really like. And if you like stuff like Dark Souls with really difficult but rewarding content, maybe drop in, drop out like this might be good. But who knows? Like, I hope it does really well, but we'll kind of see.
It sounds a bit more interesting to me now.
Yeah?
Like, if only I had friends to play with.
For you guys who are listening on iTunes, I just pointed at my face and sort of put my hand up. Now everybody's laughing at me, because of course they are. But no, I mean, I think there's always going to be community. And again, Twitch is going to be great for this. Because I know Monster Hunter is great for this, where you go into a Monster Hunter stream and they're like, yo, we're doing like G-rank missions to get you guys up through the ranks. Who wants to come and play? This is my friend code. And when the last Monster Hunter came out, loads of streams were like, yo, this is my friend code. Who wants to come and play? If you've just started, that's cool. We'll carry you through to get you some gear.
That sounds interesting. I might actually check it out now.
Mm-hmm.
Only if you do first, and I can join you after.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
he wants carrying. That's what he's saying.
Yeah,
to be fair, that's how I started. I went into Dioshi's stream and was like, yo, I only have like half a gear set and I need more clothes. Can you help me? And his community like ran me through a load of monsters, just like, yeah, we'll get you stuff. What stuff do you need? Monster Hunter communities are niche, but they're good people usually. Nobody makes fun of you for, well, okay, yeah, no, they do make fun of you for dying, but they do so in kind of a nice way rather than a noob, get out of my lobby.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. So I'm excited to see whether this takes a foothold on Twitch in that kind of way. I have a feeling that making it free to play is going to dampen that a little bit.
Maybe.
But
we'll see.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know.
Free to play is a strange model.
It is.
There's not many get it right.
Right.
No.
It's difficult as well in alpha.
Brave. It's brave.
It's brave.
Very brave. Yeah.
Yeah. That it is. I mean, if you look at what was the MOBA that went free to play recently but didn't really go free to play but actually went free to play? Battleborn.
What?
Battleborn went free to play, and then they went, oh, but it's not free to play because it's just the multiplayer that's free to play.
Yeah, so Battleborn was the one that came out like 3 months before Overwatch, right? It's very similar to Overwatch, and it came out, it was launched, and then the Overwatch beta came out.
Yeah.
And nobody heard about Battleborn again, because everyone was like, done with Battleborn, we want Overwatch in our lives.
Yeah, and it's the same with Paladins. Paladins got forgotten because Overwatch was just more polished. They had more character. It wasn't an annoying mess of colours all over my eyes. No, I mean, Battleborn looks great, don't get me wrong, but there's so many colours and there's so much going on that my tiny eyes go, do you know what? Nah.
That was my first reactions to Battleborn was, there's too much going on, it's too busy.
Mm-hmm.
Colours and this and things flying around, it's like, this is too much. It's overbearing.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's sad that it came with this whole PvE mode, and that's not the bit that's free to play.
Yeah.
Like, the PvE is meant to be alright, but you have to pay for that, so nobody's kind of...
Straight free to play model, strange again.
Bizarre. Completely bizarre. Alright, talking about Overwatch. How good are you guys at Overwatch?
I don't even own the game.
You don't even own it. I swear you are the only person in the universe.
I am far too poor for that. I'm a musician, for God's sake.
Starving,
the game is still like
artist.
$50.
Yeah.
Literally. Well, I told you a story earlier that proves I'm not starving, but generally, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's still like $50, and it's been, how long's it been out for? At least?
A year now.
I don't even know.
A year now. We've just had the anniversary update.
Yeah, and
I
I'm
don't
like,
think the price part will change. The price part won't change for a while.
Yeah, exactly. So
No,
like,
it's a Blizzard game. It won't.
Unless someone gets it for my birthday, I'm pretty much, yeah. I played, they had a free weekend that I played, and I loved it.
Did you really?
But,
that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm like, please, someone let me play. So I watch it on a friend's stream.
So
I'm like, I can play vicariously through you.
Yep. Pick this one. Go left.
Shoot him.
Kill him. So we're talking about the fact that Overwatch is gonna have because I don't think it's launched yet. They're gonna have an open division, so amateur players can start moving their way towards professional play, and it kind of makes this pathway from being a scrub, like, to actually being a professional player. Oh, that's what they're hoping anyway. They're hoping that it's gonna kind of like open up this pathway to allow more amateur players up into the professional ranks. Is that a good thing?
I think so. I think it's like bridge that gap between your casual player and then when you go into obviously competitive, it's like if you haven't got the standard up to the people that you're playing with, you are pretty much a target, aren't you?
Mm.
So if you are in with like the pro-ams, it's like a pro-am, isn't it?
Yeah.
Professional amateurs.
Yeah.
If you're in with a pro-ams, you're in against people with your own standard. That's not so top standard. And I think it's kind of like a stepping stone into like esports, and I think that's good.
I think it's nice to see esports and these leagues now being taken more seriously. We were talking like last week about the fact that League of Legends is like, hey, we want to put a buy-in on one of our tournaments. And that means that we can guarantee our players a salary. We can guarantee that these teams will always be in this tournament. We can make sure that they're looked after, that they're fed and they're watered, and they've always got somewhere to stay. And it's really nice to see more people kind of taking esports seriously, as it were. Are you guys esports fans at all?
I never used to be.
Yeah, I watch a lot of Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I never used to be an esports fan until like going to a few gaming events in the UK and seeing it live, and then.
Oh, there's nothing like watching it live.
Yeah,
oh,
I watched the. I think it was like I-59, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the Overwatch like grand finals at Insomnia, And like I was sat in the front row and I had so much fun because like one of my friends it was her team. Do you know naysayers? But
Yeah.
so it was her team that was in the final and it kicked ass. It was brilliant. I loved it. And there was a lot of people watching and they were all cheering for certain plays. And I was like, this is cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I had like a newfound like appreciation for esports. Because to me, for me, like as a layman, esports was always like League of Legends and stuff, and I didn't have a clue what was going on. I didn't really know much about the competitive scene of anything. I don't really follow anybody, but it's fun. I'm a competitive sports person. Sports is my thing. Away from streaming, sports is everything for me. So
you see, I'm not at all. I've never been into any sport at all ever, and but I really enjoyed Counter-Strike and those kinds of games. So when I saw that there was like a competitive thing, it's like, oh, I'll check that out, and I really had fun watching it. So
Counter-Strike gets really tense too.
It does, yeah. Oh my god!
You get down to the last players on our team, and you find yourself like proper fingernails in your chair. Like, oh my god.
Yeah. So I do love the competitive side of it. I think to get to that standard is impressive. You know, we're gamers. We struggle probably with some games, whereas they are professionals. It is them. Like what they do, they are focused. They are training to be the best at that. And you've got to have admiration for anybody that does that in any walk of life, really.
Yeah.
And to be like taking off is amazing. Because like I don't know if BT Sport in the UK bought the esports rights to FIFA recently.
Oh no way!
To broadcast some FIFA stuff, yes, on the actual TV channel, which I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
So like esports is going to be making its way onto British TVs with BT, which obviously like BT is huge, and like there's some naysayers has her channel. Is it Jinx TV in the UK that they play the esports stuff on? And like that's slowly becoming more and more popular. And I'm like, I'm really into this. I can sit back and watch these guys go full out, toe to toe, competitive sports, and watch it again in a few weeks' time. And I don't follow them, but I appreciate how good they are.
Yeah.
And I think it's nice that there's such a wide variety of stuff. So you like CS:GO, right? I kind of wasn't a big fan of CS:GO to start with, but I loved watching people do fighting games. I probably couldn't sit and watch a competitive match of FIFA, but then I don't really understand football because I was brought up in a rugby household. You know, but I can watch people do my brain's just died. TF2, CS:GO, League, Dota, all of that sort of thing. Oh, League. I'm terrible. I have to wait until Steve leaves the house to watch competitive League because I'm right there on the edge of my seat with them, like every team fight. Because it pulls you in. The skill level is so high now that it really does pull you in. And there is something for everyone.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it. And I think maybe we have that over traditional sports a little bit.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think with it being gaming, everyone can like, if anyone that's ever picked up a game or a keyboard and mouse and play the game, you understand at some level how difficult it is to be kind of, and they do it at the high level and they get paid well for it, and so be it. Good for them. Yeah. You know, they work at it. It's just like, if you want to be a professional football, professional rugby player, anything you want to do professionally, high level, you have to work it, and they do. Yeah, they really do. I know a good couple of Smite players, and I'm like, okay, so how do I get good at Smite? Because I really like Smite. I don't want to be like good at Smite, but I want to be like not getting stomped constantly good at Smite, you know? And they're just like, well, play it all the time. Don't stop, ever.
Jesus, what great advice.
And I'm like, well,
it's good advice. So
because they don't stop. They do not stop playing it ever, and they know all the maths, all the distances, all the jump timers, all the camp timers. They know all of it, and for a lot of them, they know it by feel rather than kind of by brain, if that makes sense. Like they're not counting down in their head, but they roughly know when it's coming up. It's crazy. I absolutely love it, and I'm so pleased that we're getting kind of more varied esports, and they're actually being kind of supported now.
Like I long before I was a streamer, it was like back in like 2009. I used to play FIFA consistently all the time, and I got
sorry.
No, I used to football's my thing. I enjoy football.
Sorry, I totally kid. I get it.
But I got to like in the overall rankings on like the world. I got to like number 3 or 4 in the world rankings on FIFA's competitive play. This is long before esports was a thing. But knowing how much, like you said then about the motor neuron stuff, like, you know, the reactions, you know, things, it was just like I could pick it up and it just happened naturally because I'd put so much, hundreds and hundreds of hours, if not 1,000 hours into the game. So to get to that standard, it took a lot of work, but it was just natural to be that kind of good at the game. So for these guys that do it on Counter-Strike and Overwatch and League and Dota and Rainbow Six now, and I can appreciate it on a competitive level.
Yeah. All right. Should we talk about some scrub tier games instead? Should we move away from competitive games? Because you guys
sounds like my kind of thing.
Sweet. So you guys have given me some game recommendations this week. DMK, should we start with you? Because you've picked one that's actually one of my favorites. I actually really like this. This is great. Go for it.
Well, I mean, I actually bought it because you were streaming it.
Yes!
So, and I was like, yeah, you remember, I was like, you streamed it the first time. I was like, this looks awesome. It looks so relaxed and just so like, I don't know. And it was. And I went and bought it and I played it like after your stream and stuff. And I was like, this is great. It's just like, you don't have to worry about anything. You just pass the time and just play it your way. And I don't know. I don't really know what else to say. It's just like, it's managing stuff, but it's not like stressful managing stuff like City Skylines can be or something like that. It's just like, you know, you just put the things down and they work. And if something goes wrong, you just deal with it and it's great. And it has that cute little fox pig thing. And I like it. That's always my thing. Because, you know, I've been playing a lot of Far Cry 4 recently. And that game can get really stressful. And like, especially on the hard difficulty, I'm like, could you just fucking kill the guy? And with this one, there's no one to kill. There's nothing to do. It's just, you know, you just sit there and relax after a hard day playing bass. You know, it's just like, yeah, this is good. So that's why I love it. I really, really like it. That's my recommendation. It's just relaxing to play.
So like, what's the game about? What's the end game here?
I'm sure there is an end game.
It's you're building a neighborhood on a block, and every block that you put down is like an office or a tree, or a windmill or a solar panel or a power generator, an oil drill, like all this stuff. And the idea is you have to build a working neighborhood that kind of works in tandem with itself. So say you want to run a load of shops and you want to run like a shopping district. That means you're going to have power. So do you run off solar panels? Do you run off of water energy? If you run off water energy, then you have to have a source of water coming in all the time. So the idea is...
So it's like a pixel type take on City Skylines.
Yes, but on a small scale. And the idea is instead of building out, you build up.
Oh, okay.
So at the moment, I have a tower block going where you have office like offshoots. So the whole thing looks like a tree. You have office sort of offshoots, and then the top level is all like a big garden level, where I collect water and sunshine and wind energy and things like that. So instead of like growing them out, you grow it up.
I saw in the video then, like you had like multiple little blocks in like around a lake. Is that so? It's like
you are
in one block. You can have multiples to the like village. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. It's good.
That's interesting.
It's very interesting. Yeah, it's a really cool concept. It's a bit like Project High-Rise, but way better.
Yes. Yeah. But way less stressful. Yeah.
Yeah, and way less. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get stressed with games. I'm just like, that one just does not stress me out. It doesn't matter what happens in it. I'm like, it's all right. We got it. We got this.
All right. So going from completely not stressful to probably the most stressful thing I ever played at an EGX event ever. Tell me a little bit about Super Rude Bear Resurrection.
Well, we covered quite a lot before, but so like, it's a platformer. You know, you platformer one end to the other, and you go across, and you're expected to die. You're expected to die, and you get from one side to the other, and avoid certain things, and like certain aspects of the level can be changed with what you do. And like, for instance, that bit it showed there, you're like jumping through and avoiding ice spikes and stuff like that. The game on its own is quite difficult, and one thing that stood out to me is they've made this. It was like this was the first thing that I found. One of the first things I found out about this. They've put into the game that they've made it so that the first person to beat the game without dying all the way through gets £1,000.
And how close are you to that?
I've not even get to the first level without dying. So, but like that side of it, as I was going through each level, it was on the back of my mind thinking, how could anybody ever do this? And it's probably like a really like deep challenge in someone's mind that they're going to want to do this. And I like that aspect that a fun game has got this competitive thing deep inside that somebody might want to do. And then you've got the Twitch integration side of things where, so like you can go for a single level and you can change the timer to being every 15 seconds the chat can vote or every minute they can vote. And it can have a vote for good things or bad things. And some things help you, some things don't. So like I said earlier, I spent 4 hours playing in Twitch integration mode. And it gets quite stressful. But the one thing that did just stand out in this game is, so it gets easier the more you die. So when you die, your corpse will stay in the position. So you can then use that corpse to negate either spikes or any kind of obstacle. The bodies will pile up, and then even
that is the most metal thing.
Yeah, the bodies will pile up.
Genuinely, it's really grim.
It's
you leave all these bare corpses everywhere.
Corpses everywhere. But then after a while, it starts to get difficult because they will pile up so high that you can't get up there anymore, and it just goes from being easy to then being quite difficult. And you can actually clear the like you have like a little companion with you that can clear them with a laser if you really want to. But I find the aspect of using your own bodies, I didn't use it really. I find the aspects of using your own like carcasses, like it does just show jumping there to access the level further down because you're not very good at the game, is quite unique. So I had a lot of fun playing.
Quite interesting mechanic.
Yeah, I nearly right. So we nearly completed the full game on Twitch integration mode from the start to the end. I'm like one level away from doing it, but I've not picked it back up yet because it's like I know full well what's going to come. My blood pressure and this heat.
Let me know when you do, and I'll try and vote for good things.
Well, sometimes in the level they'll come and it's a vote, and it's one thing or the other, and they're both bad. So you know for the next minute you are going to be suffering really, really badly with something. And it was like one of the Twitch integration things is there was I can't remember the name of it, but what will happen is a guy will spawn in and he'll have a hammer. It's got like a Twitch logo on it. He'll just basically beat the shit out of you and keep beating you and beating you and beating you. He'll respawn and he'll beat you for a minute. And like you'll pile the bodies up and there'll be 50 corpses on the floor. And then that integration will be over, and then you might get like, oh, they'll give you some wings now, so you can fly through the level, fly through quite far through, and you get to a point where you need to like stop, obviously, because you might die. And then something else will come where it's like thunderstorms or missiles with Twitch logos on will come at you. It's like, but I love, please, chat, please, just give me a minute here. I did that for 4 hours. Jeez. So like, if you like the Meat Boy style games without the Twitch integration, this is probably up there in terms of rage-inducing and fun, and it's got quite a decent price point. But if you're a streamer and you want a bit of fun, and I know that my chat had quite a lot of bit of fun with it, and there was no talk in the chat. Hashtag command. I took a little bit of a breather and we had a little bit of a chat, and then we went back in again. So I do highly recommend it. It's quite a unique concept, and if you're a streamer and you want to test your boundaries and see how much your community hates you, it's definitely worth playing, even if it's just for an hour. Definitely worth just trying Twitch integration and see for yourself how difficult this is.
Neat. Okay. My recommendation this week goes kind of back to being chill. And this is all right now. So my French is terrible, but this is Passepartout. Okay. Passepartout, the Starving Artist, and the idea of this game is you are an artist, and you want to buy wine and baguettes. And so you have to...
that is exactly my life.
Right? So, so you have to make paintings that people want to buy in order to afford your wine and baguettes. And it's actually great. It's actually great. It's super silly. All the character models and the voices are silly. I think the guy who buys the most off of me at the moment when I play this in my downtime is a guy who looks like the guy who writes... oh, my brain's died. The one that HBO does with all the boobs. With Jon Snow in it.
George R. Martin.
Yes. So yeah, my top customer looks exactly like him, and he likes to buy all the paintings of like rock faces and things that I draw. He's not a big fan of the like really vibrant fruit I like to draw, but the rock faces he's quite into.
So I have a question for you, Pip.
Yes.
Did you draw a cock and balls?
I did.
Did somebody buy it?
Yes. For like €100. It was great. At one
How many
point,
baguettes did you get for €100?
several. But no, the idea is you've got several different studios. So you start working out of a garage, and then eventually an art critic comes to see you and is like, yes, your painting is wonderful. And so you can move into like an apartment, and then you can have like gallery space and all this kind of thing. And it doesn't matter how terrible your paintings are. Like, it really doesn't matter how terrible your paintings are. Eventually people will buy them anyway, and some people will always think that your paintings are amazing, and it's just silly. It's just silly and cheap.
I really like the idea of this game.
Yeah.
Yes, I've got to see this.
Yeah.
I don't think it's all that expensive either, considering I've had like
Six
it's £7.
£7.
Yeah, there you go. It's £7 for something that so far I've had so much play out of, just because I'm like, I'm gonna log in and draw a bum. I'm gonna sell a bum for €150. Perfect. It cheers me up a little bit when I feel sad, and I know, knowing that my little dude is buying his wine and baguettes is actually wonderful. Like, is actually wonderful. So yeah, that's my recommendation for this week.
I have to pick this up now. I have to play this.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you stream it, I want you to take requests from chat, and I want you to screenshot your beautiful paintings and put them on Twitter so that everybody knows what a wonderful artist you are. Because
that I'll do.
That I think is going to be my plan on Indie Day next week. All right, so away from these bizarre indie titles that about painting bums, let's talk about E3.
Oh, good lord.
Let's talk about E3. Okay, so E3 this year was massively different, I feel. Like, massively different. How did you guys feel E3 went this year, sort of as a whole? Bearing in mind there were a hell of a lot of consumers on the floor this year.
Go on, Kyle, you go.
Oh my god, no. It's gonna be. It was. I don't know. I have so many different thoughts about it. Like, some of it was so fucking cringy, and some of it was like, yeah, it's cool. You got a stage and you're talking to people and all that stuff. It's just like, did it really have to be so safe? You know, it was a bit like, there were some cool reveals and stuff like that, but I don't know. Somebody else take it for a second. A bit like.
I mean, for me, E3 is the highlight of my year in the games industry. That week of seeing the release of this and the press conference and stuff, it goes back to when I was a kid, like being 12, 13 years old, waiting for the Games Master magazine from the E3 coverage, because back then there was no kind of big furore about it. There was no internet coverage. It was basically journalists in a magazine. You read about the games that you want on your Sega Mega Drive and PlayStation and stuff. So I've always been a fan of it from then. Some of the press conferences were kind of dire and pointless. Bethesda was such a disappointment.
Yeah.
But in terms of the whole show and it being opened up to the consumers and stuff, I'm not a fan.
No.
I'm not a fan of it. For me, it's a trade show, and it will always be that to me. It's where the pinnacle of the publishers and the game makers and stuff go to showcase their things to the industry. You know, and I think I'd like to keep it like that.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people struggled to keep appointments this year. There were members of the public actively complaining that they had to queue for games.
I mean, it's a trade show. Of course you have to queue for something, you know?
I mean, before I had my press badge for PAX, I remember queuing for 3 hours to play Pyre. And my friends had to bring me food and drink while I was in the queue because I was like on my last legs. I'd done interviews and meetings all day, and I was like, it's one of those things that you have to have. The other thing is with all of this stuff going on with all of the extra people, they seem to cut back on security. There was from what I understand from the Senshudo members that were there weren't bag checks outside of the press conferences, and very few people.
So that's extremely worrying.
Very few people were checking whether you had badges on the way in. Now, considering what happened recently in the UK, that's
bad.
really worrying.
Yeah.
Do you think that's due to the now scale of things? Like they've opened it up as it was like a convention. It wasn't a trade show anymore.
Right,
I think
but
it's because of that.
Yeah, and I don't think they were ready for it to be a convention. I think they were still very much in trade show mode, and they're two very separate things, I feel, going forward. Like, if you look at the differences between something like Gamescom and how E3 is traditionally run, they are absolutely very different things. Oh god, they were actual fights over swag. There you go.
Jesus Christ.
That's how,
not what you want at a trade show.
It's not Black Friday.
Yeah.
You know, we're not Argos at Black Friday. That's not a thing. This is an industry event, and that's
for
crazy.
me. Yeah, it's, for these people to, like, over the years, it's obviously changing now. It's going to a different side of things, but you had to be like the pièce de résistance to be at E3. You either had to work for these companies, or you had to be in the games industry at high level to go to E3 to cover any of it. And it's like they're watering it down, and I don't understand why they need to do this. It's not. Do they need to bring in the public for this event?
Yeah.
To make it a success, do they?
No.
Is that extra feet on the ground going to make any difference to the companies that are there? I don't think it.
Yeah.
I don't think it will.
No. It's I don't see members of the public as a positive addition to the conference in any way, shape, or form.
Well, I class us, me, you, as members of the public.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously, like Sam's journalist side of things, that's different.
Yeah.
You know, to take your journalist like group with you, that's very, very different. I get that side of things.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at I mean, the coverage that I do at EGX, I always have a camera and I have a microphone, and then I have people smashing into the camera and knocking it over, and I have to get to my interviews on time, and there are people in the way. I can't even imagine what they had to deal with. Like, that's crazy.
They made 3.5 million from public tickets.
So it'll be back on next year again. It'll be the same next year then.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame.
Yeah. Like, it's crazy.
This is the thing I've heard all over the place as well. It's like that so many people said, why bother with this, you know? It's where we get to find out information. Why mix the public in with it and fuck everything up, to put it that way, you know?
Yeah. By all means, if people want to talk to developers, get them to start at an EGX, at a Res, at a PAX, at a Gamescom level, and get them to work up from there. Making appointments for E3 is stressful and terrifying. And trying to keep meeting schedules and things and, locations for shoots and various bits and pieces is super stressful. You have to be so organized to get everything in place. And putting the public in that mix just doesn't work. Like, surely it just doesn't. But let's not dwell on the bits that didn't work. Let's talk about what our highlights were for this year. DMK, do you want to start me off? What did you really, really like from this year's E3? Because, it had a different pace, but there were good moments, right?
There were good moments, yeah. That Far Cry 5 reveal was insane. I was so psyched over that. I didn't think I was going to be, because Far Cry 3 was really good. It changed the game in every way. Well, not every way, but a lot of ways for the better. Far Cry 4 came along and changed it even more. Some bad, some good. Far Cry 5 came along and just changed the whole thing for the better. I don't see a single bad thing about it. I'm like, choose characters, and there's a whole different way of doing outposts and taking over things, and the whole narrative is different, and you've got a dog companion.
It's brilliant, because they've taken this super serious narrative and then made it Far Cry silly.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like it's
quite controversial. It's a controversial subject, isn't it?
Right.
Like the tyranny side of things.
But they've made it kind of silly. And there's a vase bobblehead.
Yeah. And there's Boomer the dog. Boomer
Yes.
the dog.
Yeah.
He can go and fetch you a rifle of the person that you've just killed. You can be like, I'm gonna kill him with a throwing knife. Go get that rifle for me, dog. And he'll be like, okay. And he'll come back and you'll have it, and then you can go and take over the rest of the town. It sounds amazing. And have like switchable characters. You can change your companion. You can have the dog Boomer. You can have the sniper lady or someone else. And it sounds like, you know, a bit of GTA thrown in there a bit, you know, from GTA 5 where you could switch the characters and stuff. But the whole like, they've opened it up more, so it's not so much a linear story as it was before. You can go around and like sort of discover which parts of the story at different times, and it'll all come together at the end. So it sounds really, really good, and I'm really, really psyched. And I'm probably going to pre-order it as soon as possible.
Neat.
So which means selling a lot of songs.
Buy the music.
Far Cry 5 was one of mine. It stood out for me. Like I was like, whoa, this is amazing. Show me more.
Yeah.
I want to see it. And like. Yeah. Graphically, and it was amazing. I mean, nobody always judges games on graphics, but that stood out, and it was beautiful, and it was modern, and had this like deep storyline to it, which is controversial for a lot of people. So I kind of like that they've been so brave to take this on and to put it into a game. I'll be honest with you, it'll get murdered for it. It'll get murdered for somewhere down the line. There'll be complaints. It'll be this, that, and the other.
Oh, there's already been complaints.
I can't believe they've done this. I know it'll be worse.
Yeah.
I can't believe they've done this. How could you do this? But then you play games where you murder people for fun.
There have been a lot of complaints of, why can't we make the bad guys a different religion so as not to offend people? And I'm like, wait, what? Pardon?
Yeah.
What?
I heard once someone saying
back for just a.
Just try again.
Yeah. Oh well, maybe if the white supremacists are not all white, then and I'm just kind of sat there going,
then they wouldn't be a white supremacist. Yeah.
Do you not?
I really like that the main villain has a man bun. That is perfect.
I've never considered that a very villainous thing, but like.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I'll take it. No, there's been a lot of complaints already, but I'm excited to see them again being brave. And making it a little bit silly.
Yeah, Far Cry in itself is a very silly concept, but
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I like it.
My elephant edition was maybe a bit too serious for me. Like maybe.
Oh man, there's nothing like riding an elephant into an outpost and completely trashing the place and winning.
You're right, but a lot of that was quite serious, and I had to make some very serious decisions, and every part of me went, my brain doesn't want this. I want to just shoot people.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no, it's that's gonna be great. Most definitely.
That was my highlight. But with that, I'm gonna have to get going. I've got some stuff going on. And, thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for coming in. We'll do you a quick shout out at the end, but whose music do we need to buy? Please remind us.
It's a band called I the Betrayer.
Excellent news. Where can we buy it real quickly?
You can buy it on Google, Spotify,
you nearly
iTunes,
said on Steam then.
Steam, I did actually.
Coming soon on Steam. Coming soon on Steam.
Yeah. We have a website. You can buy it from Bandcamp. Just search Google for I the Betrayer and it'll come up.
Sweet.
So yeah.
All right.
Thanks very much for having me.
Thank you so
guys
much.
You guys have been awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I hope I can come back one day.
Sweet. See you soon.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. So there we go. So tell me about what your highlights were, because I know you couldn't pick, right?
I give you 5, didn't I?
Yeah.
I gave you 5 things to choose from, right?
Every week, right? So that you guys are aware, every week I'm like, hey, so I need a game recommendation, and this time I'm like, okay, and I need an E3. I want your E3 highlights, please. Expecting like one of each. No, Pulpy comes in my mentions with like a million. Like, so the first draft of the podcast cheat sheet this week just read your E3 highlights and why. Pulpy, all of them.
Pretty much, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, so run me through super quick, like what you liked.
So for me, I really enjoyed the Xbox press conference. I love seeing new technology be announced. Obviously, video consoles are PC and all that. So people have their own opinions, but I've always been a console gamer my whole life. So like to see the Xbox announced it's like.
Sorry, chat's going mad with exclusive.
So I really enjoyed the Xbox press conference, seeing the new technology and kind of fanboying a bit about how it works and what it's capable of, and the way it's changed. Now everyone can do everyone in the world can do 4K gaming now, but you just got to go out and buy yourself a 4K TV first.
And they're like, not the cheapest.
Yeah, they're more expensive than the Xbox One X is. So I like that. I did enjoy some of the titles they showed on the thingy, like State of Decay 2. When the Xbox press conference was on there, and that really looked good to me. And there's a few other ones at the Xbox press conference too, but that was my main highlight. And then the Ubisoft press conference, for me, was probably the best they've ever performed at an E3.
Yep.
In terms of they had hype and they rolled out hype after hype after hype, and it was like, wow, this is good, that's good, amazing.
Even down to like the titles that, I mean, we knew were coming because they were leaked, but we kind of didn't expect from them. Things like Mario and Rabbids. Mario and Rabbids looks like great fun. Like, it's squishy XCOM. How can you not want to play? If you own a Switch, squishy XCOM is going to be great. The Ubisoft the Ubisoft presentation was absolutely wonderful. Like,
yeah, so that really stood out for me because some years they get a lot of stick. Ubisoft. Everyone hates Uplay. Everyone hates the microtransactions that they have introduced into every single part of their walk of life. But they stood out on that press conference with actual games that people are excited about. You know, not necessarily. I'm not really not the biggest fan of Assassin's Creed, but it did look good.
Yeah, giant snake battles, yo.
Yeah.
Where this giant snake appears, and every part of me went, I hate Assassin's Creed now that Syndicate. Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like compare Assassin's Creed to Fast and the Furious movies. There's too many of them.
Yeah.
There's just too many,
yeah.
you know, and they obviously want to make money, and I understand that, but bringing out mediocre games that could have been extensions and DLCs to certain titles over the years should have been, you know, they've kind of ruined a bit of the reputation there with that for me. But yeah, so like the Ubisoft press conference, and especially the Far Cry and the Crew 2. So like you said to me in starting, didn't you, about the Crew? What did you see about the Crew, right? So I'll explain, right?
Please sell it to me, because the only thing, like I said to you earlier, and I really shouldn't, but like the only thing that I ever associate with the Crew is from the initial release of the Crew, the guy on stage presenting it had a car seat fetish, and it was genuinely the most uncomfortable thing to watch this man talk about the real leather on the seats.
We all love the real leather, though, right?
I mean, like, I like driving in the sunshine, so not so much. But yeah, no, sell me the Crew 2. Why is the Crew 2 going to be great?
So I'll go with the Crew for the first game, right? So I love open world games, and there's been a few like driving games that have been open world, and they've not been the greatest. I mean, there's only so much you can do. Graphically, back when the games were coming out, it's not the greatest. And they tried to throw a storyline in with the game, and we all know you can't. What kind of storyline can you get with a game when you drive cars in? Not much, really. But it was decent enough to play, and it was fun. And it was my first time on Twitch that I started to grow as a community sort of thing. And like, I have memories of averaging like 20 concurrent viewers on Twitch playing Minecraft. And then when I played the Crew on my own, I was going up to triple figures. And it was really good to interact with the community. It'd be like long haul drives. So we talk, and then it comes to like the nitty gritty of either the story or multiplayer, and it was really cool and customized. So as much as the game wasn't popular, it was really good for me. I enjoyed that. And it was like, give me some really good confidence in terms of streaming and knowing that I could play other games that weren't what was popular. So then when I saw the announcement of this, I was like, okay, ears pricked up. And they've made it, obviously, most games now that are open world, graphically are all quite superior. You know, they're really, really good now. Like the Assassin's Creed look good, and then obviously Far Cry, and you have all the massive open world games, and they just look beautiful. So to tie into that, not just couldn't care less about the storyline. The storyline's like a second part of the game. It's the open world feel of driving around and being free and having all this customization in cars, which might not appeal to everybody, but it's a good talking point for me to just be able to customize this and customize that. And they chucked in like, you can do like other land vehicles, and you can do like jet skis and stuff. So it's kind of like Just Cause vehicle sort of style into like the game of the Crew. And I was always really impressed by the size of the game. Like it's on, like from one side of the US to the other, it took like 3 hours to drive from one side to the other, and like
Oh damn!
it wasn't just like a straight road. You were driving
Right, you
through
had to-
parts of the US which resembled what America looks like. So it was a very well made game. It got a bit of stick, but I'm just really looking forward to this for going back to my roots of something that I enjoyed on Twitch. Nice open world, beautiful looking game, and having seen the Ubisoft press conference, I have to give them like 10 out of 10 for what they did. So it kind of made me feel a little more like, you know what, Ubisoft deserved me to be happy about this game.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. Obviously, from the Ubisoft press conference, we got Beyond Good and Evil 2. And I think it was at that point that my tweets started to just become gibberish. Because I've been waiting for that game for so long.
So it's 15 years in like development ideas to being
and it
live,
looks,
right?
I know that we've only seen like pre-rendered cutscene footage, blah blah blah. You can't not fall in love with that world and those characters.
When it started off, everyone's like, "What's this space monkey thing?"
And literally the second that they showed the pig guy here, I'm sat there going, "I know what this is. I know what this is."
I didn't. I was like, "What is this?"
I was sat in a D&D game, right, having to be very sort of focused and very, you know, my character, and I'm kind of typing away furiously, and everybody's going, "Are you okay? Like, are you fine? Are you okay?" And I'm there typing away furiously, like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And the inside, or every part of me is sort of going,
yeah.
because the world looks gorgeous, the characterization looks gorgeous. I'm in love with the setting. I'm in love with the writing already. And I've got high hopes. Like, I really do have high hopes because, well, Ubisoft are known for killing off their multiplayer experiences. Looking at you, For Honor. Maybe their single player experiences are a lot better crafted, you know? And yeah,
I was excited, and like the response it got on the floor was like, oh my god.
Well, did you see DJ Wheat couldn't do his Twitch set the next day because he lost his voice screaming about it?
I saw the tweet about him going, fuck you,
Yep.
fuck you to playing them all. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really interesting one, and it's gonna be interesting to see how they handle it. Obviously, like we've already seen, they've got quite a diverse cast.
Yeah.
You know, I'm excited to see how it goes. I wish I had the video to put up for Twitch chat. I'm sure you guys are sick of seeing it, but unfortunately, all of my equipment broke about an hour before we started, so we're just dealing with the Ubisoft conference right now. But it is such a good trailer, though. If you guys haven't seen it, the other ones that caught my eye, were things like Ooblets.
Yeah.
Ooblets looks great.
Yeah, I don't know what it was about the game. It just seemed like.
Are you a Stardew Valley fan?
Particularly, no, but I kind of was taken in straight away by the art style.
Right.
And the pastel colours was like, this is really, really neat and cute. I like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I carried on watching it. I was like, yeah, I could take some of this. I could play Ooblets. The
nice thing that I found out recently was they bought a mocap setup. And I'm like, why does a low poly game need mocap setup? Like, that doesn't make it. Have you seen the characters dancing? That's actually people dancing in the mocap suits. It's great. It's Pikmin and Stardew Valley all kind of rolled into one low poly pastel, like, nice package. And yeah, I think I could lose like endless hours to that, like you do in trucking. You know, you just kind of play. And I think it's nice that we saw titles. Yeah, I think it's nice that we saw titles like that rather than just shoot all the Nazis. Although Wolfenstein does look good. Yeah. But are we not a Wolfenstein fan?
I am. I'm not. I am. I'm not. I'm on the fence with Wolfenstein. This looks amazing to be part of, like an amazing experience and stuff in the storylines. But the ones prior to this one never really sold me.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I kind of like the alternate history thing, and I think the last Old Blood and New Order did a really good job of showcasing like how well they can tell those stories. So I'm interested. That, and I love things like Doom. I love these shooters where you just go around and shoot things.
Just pointless shooting things, yeah. Like Doom is good at that, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's gonna be. I think that's gonna be neat. I think that's gonna be a neat experience. I'm trying to think what else I really liked.
Before you go on about before we move off, one thing I want to say about the Ubisoft press conference, which probably people didn't notice, but for me it stood out. In all the years I've watched E3 on the internet and what I've read about things, I've never ever seen a guy so passionate as the guy at the end of the Ubisoft press conference. He was lost for words, his own press conference, and I was like, "Oh, this guy is literally about to burst with excitement and joy, and he can't speak, and I could feel like his voice trembling
at
how impressive the Ubisoft press conference was. And when he got all the people on stage, I was like, "This is amazing. I don't see this often."
Well, there were a couple like that, because the guy who did Mario and Rabbids, Miyamoto made a statement to say that he was super proud of this game that they'd made, and the guy sat in the audience in tears.
Yeah, like, good on you guys, because you see a lot of these people, and they're obviously very, very like overwhelmed by things, and when one of their games gets amazing coverage and stuff, but to physically see the guy like shaking and his voice was going, and he out short of breath because he was like blown away about what we just done as a conference, as a developer and stuff, and Ubisoft, and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool to see."
Yeah. It was really nice to see, and it is really nice to see, because we saw it a fair bit with this conference actually, a shift away from traditional suits and more towards these people who are, directly involved in these passion projects. More of these sort of on the floor developers who kind of, they love these things to death. This isn't just somebody who, is interested in it for the money. These are people who actively love their projects, and to see more. Yeah,
they weren't out there. They weren't marketing. They weren't out to market the game. They were out there to talk about their passion. Yeah. And we did this, and why we did this.
It's a really good shift.
Yeah.
Like, it's a really, really good shift. I'm trying to think. The only other thing that I think massively grabbed me was Sea of Thieves.
Okay.
Sea of Thieves is gonna be my kind of game, I think. I think that's gonna be my RP experience. I think being a captain and getting my community on board, firing them out of a cannon at another streamer or another community or whatever, getting those people safely back to me with treasure, that's gonna be my kind of bag, and I'm super excited for that.
On the flip side of that, what about Skull and Bones?
I don't think Skull and Bones has the same amount of charm. And I
was about to say that Sea of Thieves has got an art style that makes it look really enjoyable.
Yeah. And it's not just the art style. I think it's the things like the small touches, like you don't just get off the ship. Somebody can feed you into a cannon and fire you off the ship. Right?
Like totally necessary, but fun.
Yes. Yeah, precisely. Things like when you're carrying a chest, you can choose to put it down and fight, or you can run on and scream at everybody behind you to clear up the skeletons.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of... Yeah, I kind of worry that, and somebody in chat has brought this up, that Skull and Bones is to Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
It was the same guys that made the ship play.
Oh, well...
The guys that made... Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was great. I don't think there's enough
to carry
it, whereas I think the charm of Sea of Thieves will carry it quite far. I think that's going to carry it quite far. And again, I'm excited to do Sea of Thieves RP and be Captain Pip. And get people to swab the poop deck and all this sort of thing. Like, that as a caster, kind of getting people involved on that level kind of interests me to no end.
Yeah, Skull and Bones to me look quite combat heavy.
Yes.
Very, very light. You're in the deep end, combat heavy, get stuck in and defend your ship and having to understand what works, whereas Sea of Thieves seems more gentle and more passive.
Yeah, I mean, there's combat there, but I think for me, I'd rather have a smaller vessel, go and sneak around and grab treasure, and
yeah.
I'd rather PvE with a little bit of PvP than PvP endlessly, and there'd be very
exclusive
little
PvP.
Yeah.
But people will enjoy both. There'll be definitely
there'll be markets for
sure.
both, and it's nice that they are able to do both. And again, because it's open world, they can build their own experiences on that. The whole game is being marketed around building your own experiences as a community, as players. So it's really nice that they get that ability to do it. I'm trying to think whether there was anything else at E3. We have to talk, I think, about the Devolver conference. And I'm kind of glad that we're on the same page about this. Kind of. Devolver put out a conference, and if you haven't seen it, it's only about a quarter of an hour long. They don't sell any games. They don't sell any games. They don't talk about anything new. It
was more of a spoof press conference.
It was kind of a middle finger up to E3. I felt it was kind of a E3 is stupid, and here are the 10 reasons why. And it made me feel super uncomfortable. And while I know that's what Devolver were going for, I kind of feel like maybe that airtime could have been devoted to something better within the industry.
A bit more constructive, yeah.
Yeah, and maybe that makes me a bit of a bore. Like, I don't know.
I didn't watch it live. I watched it in the morning. I didn't know what to expect. I kind of, I didn't stay up to watch the Bethesda one. I like, because they were on simultaneous, right? The Bethesda and Devolver, or was it one before and after?
No, it was on before and after.
Yeah, it was like 6 a.m. So I was like, I'm not staying up for that. I'm really glad I didn't.
Yes, same.
So like, I didn't know what to expect from Devolver, and then I was like, okay, this is kind of strange. And like I said to you, the woman who was doing the presenting, she's a really good actor.
Oh, she's wonderful.
She was brilliant. Like that really worked for me. But then it was like, the scene in Anchorman, or the meme that escalated quickly. That suits that press conference.
Yeah, it does. Well. It really does. It was very Devolver, and while I kind of applaud them for keeping, for keeping sort of that character up, and they did a great job keeping that character up. I kind of feel like maybe that could have been used slightly more productively,
Yeah, but they did it, and then what they did it well. Yes, it's quite controversial, and it's like it's got people talking about it. Would they have been able to get more out of the time by talking about their games? Would it have lasted longer? That as in terms of a ripple effect into the future about what they did, more than this press conference would have. Yeah,
I don't know. Like, I understand that they were doing the whole. Devolver Digital are great, and they follow this for a while, but I do think maybe if we'd have had an indie-centric segment there, because they've got a lot of really good games that deserve a lot more traction than they're getting. But again, maybe it's just because I'm a bit of a bore, and satire kind of sits really odd with me. I don't know whether it's just me, because everybody that I know has been like, oh, it was so good, so funny, and I'm like, was it?
Some of it were, and then it was like, I've seen this sort. It was meh.
Yeah, and I think that was kind of the general feeling from E3 this year. I think it changed pace a little bit, so that we stopped getting these titles that are due out in 2027.
Exclusive.
Right.
It's getting to like exclusive. Everything's exclusive. It's like, okay, when's this game coming out? Fall 2018. It's like, why? What?
Right. So
give me stuff now.
I think they're slowly moving away from like, hey, this game's available, but not for like 30 years. Oh. Yeah. I feel like they're moving away from that, which is great, but it killed the pacing this year. So a lot of E3 this year was, And that's sad. That's sad, because as you say, it's a really important event for us. And I think
it really is. And talk about the disappointments and things. Did you watch the Sony press conference?
Yes.
I was really like, is that it?
Yeah, a couple of good
Sony
pieces.
have been really, really good for a long time at E3.
Yeah. And then
this one lacked a lot of.
Yeah. A lot of clout, if nothing else.
I know you said like, does anybody win E3 and things like that, and like I don't think for one second anybody does.
No,
you can certainly lose.
Right.
I don't think you can certainly lose, and I think they kind of like took the foot off the gas
Yeah, I mean, there was
A few
nothing
of them
wrong
did.
with it. Like, there was nothing wrong with their conference. They showed a lot of, you know, a lot of.
There was a sound issue, right? Did you have the
Oh
sound issue?
yeah. But you know, they didn't, you know, nobody's gonna go out and sell their PS4 because it was so bad. It's just a bit of a shame that they took their foot off pacing. And again, I think that's a problem that E3 had, like, in general this year. That Shadow of the Colossus remake though looks so great. Oh
Yeah,
my goodness. I'm so excited for that.
did.
But yeah, they've set the bar really high. They have. They've always had, as you say, really good conferences.
Yeah.
So it just.
Well, the thing, these big companies like Xbox and Sony, they have their own. Is it SFX now? They have their own press conference.
Yeah.
You know, and that'll be the one where they do things, which kind of makes me sad because E3 was always the place to go to show off what you've got.
And of course, we now get announcements at Gamescoms, and sometimes we get announcement at PAX events.
Yeah.
So E3 is kind of losing its shine a little bit, and I'm kind of, you know.
I mean, I'm already looking forward to next year, but I really hope that it steps up.
Well, don't forget, next year we'll see some of the titles that we were expecting to see this year that we didn't.
Yeah.
So we'll see things like, you know, The Last of Us 2, which I don't really care about, but Final Fantasy 7, which I do care a great deal about. Things like that we'll see next year for sure. And yes, I agree with you, chat. Spider-Man Arkham Edition looks great. Yes.
Do you think?
Yeah, I do.
I didn't sell for me. I'm really controversial. I don't like any of the Marvels or DC stuff. I can't stand it.
Oh, really?
Never watched any of the movies. Yeah, it's never really been bothered to watch them. But I've played Arkham. One of the first Arkhams on the Xbox. On the Xbox 360 one a long time ago. I think it was Asylum for Arkham City. Was the first one, right?
Asylum.
I quite enjoyed that. I quite enjoyed it. That's probably one of the only sort of that genre of game I've enjoyed. So it didn't really.
I have a feeling that it's going to be in the same line as the Arkham sort of games. I have a feeling. And that would be good for it, I think, rather than a film tie-in.
Yeah, because they are good, solid. It's a good, solid, like, is it a trilogy? The Batman, is there 3 of them?
Asylum, City, Night.
And Arkham Knight, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it 3? So they did really well. They, as like a standalone on their own, they did really, really well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I could see Spider-Man doing really well if they're taking that. Yeah.
All right, so I think we've discussed E3 to death. You know, pacing issues, but otherwise all right. You know, gamers win.
Yeah.
As the same as every year. The last thing to do, every podcast, because we are coming to the end of the podcast, is to name this episode. So why was this particular episode 6 out of 10? Why was this not too bad an episode? I want to put my suggestion forward first, as I always do, because I'm awful.
Okay.
So this podcast should be 6 out of 10 missing guests. Because not only have we got poor Sam missing, but poor Kyle had to run away as well. So I kind of want to put this out there as...
Yeah, because I was about to say something about the guests. I would suggest 6 out of 10 needs more guests.
Need more guests?
Yeah.
I think 6 out of 10 minimal metal. Oh, God. Oh, dear.
E3.
A Mayor E3. Yeah. I kind of like 6 out of 10 needs
the year
more.
E3 died.
Oh.
No. I like the guest one. That was my suggestion. Oh. I was with my suggestion something about the guests, like need more guests.
Need more guests, yeah. Yeah, I think so. A 6 out of 10. Spider-Man is Sasuke. Oh no. No. Don't you bring any of that weeb curse on me. I went to MCM. 6 out of 10 needs guest DLC.
Oh, that's good.
Oh no.
That's good.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so like a couple of the things at E3, they were like showing DLCs off for games, and I was like, why? That felt to me like a slot where they didn't need to.
Kinda. Yeah. I mean, I'm always excited for DLC for good titles, but
just to start your events off of them and be one of your main events to be part of DLCs
is a bit. Yeah, no, I don't think so. All right, okay, so thank you so much for joining me.
Been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's been a really good podcast. We'll have to get you back on while Sam is back with us. because Sam is obviously wonderful people. Thank you so much to Kyle. Please go follow lovely Kyle everywhere. Let me pop. Oh no, that's not the screen I want. Yeah, let me pop that screen up. Please go follow Kyle everywhere because he's actually wonderful people. And his music is great as well. Paul, tell us a little bit about you, what you do, and what your plans are for this next coming week.
So I've took my hand up at like Euro Truck Simulator. I kind of can't get away from it because I'm kind of hooked. It's got this weird multiplayer feeling. So the game's basically strictly single player, right? There's a multiplayer mod, and it's the most carnage, most rage-inducing thing ever. You're on a server with 3,500 other idiots. And you imagine half these people don't understand about how to drive a vehicle, and there's accidents everywhere, but it gives good comedy value, right? It's the funniest thing ever. I could gladly stream that for 16 hours a day and be on the server, and I would get a lot of funny content out of it. So what's happened is over the last few months, they've told me to get a wheel, right? So I've been a pleb that uses the controller. So it stepped up, and we've actually got ourselves this bad boy.
Oh, damn.
A brand new wheel, right? And pedals.
And pedals.
So my next week is going to be making as many excuses as I can as to why I can't use a wheel to drive it. So that's...
You did it at a convention. I saw you. You can't...
That's the first time my whole life I've used a wheel. I've never driven a car. I've never even been in a driving seat of a car in my life.
Oh, God.
So, yeah. So that next week of me is going to be playing some Euro Truck and having some fun with this new wheel.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Awesome. All right. So, yeah, make sure you go follow Pulp John Fiction. You're Pulp John Fiction everywhere, aren't you?
Yes. Every single place.
Perfect. So Twitter, Twitch, the whole lot. Go do that. My name's Pip, as per usual. This week I'm going to get healthy because I've been super sick this week. We're waiting for Sam to come back, and then we're going to do poll streams, and we're going to do more Witcher 3, and we're going to paint things. We're going to paint bums. Come into chat and help me paint bums. Like, it's gonna be wonderful. It's gonna be a good time. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to my guests for joining me. You guys have been absolutely wonderful. Much appreciated you joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we'll have to get you back on at some point again. Because that was great. I enjoyed that a great deal. Guys, remember to follow on to Senshudo. We do these every week at 5 p.m. BST. And also they go on to YouTube and iTunes by the start of next week. So if you guys need something to listen to in your cars, on your way on wherever, you guys can do that through iTunes. Thank you so much for joining me despite my disgusting illness. I love you guys a great deal, and I'll see you guys next week. Have a great one. Bye.
Bye.